have been dealing with this message. This should be the part 3. The kings and the globalists in 1 week rule. The king and the globalists in 1 week rule. Right, this should be part 3 today. Last week we tried to give us a kind of summary of what we are going to do today. And where we stopped was in the divisions. Let's take them as we had, read them through the passages from Genesis this morning. What is happening today has been foretold. What is happening globally? You can see that nations of the world today all over are unrest. They are in unrest. That is, there is one issue or the other, one problem or the other. Some are in conflict, some are in unsteady, atmosphere whereby if it's not social problems, it's economic problems, it's war. There are kind of rumors of war. It's one tribe trying to swallow another, one ethnic group trying to swallow another, or one king or one nation want to rise against another, and all those things. You'll be hearing something like locust invasion, like in East Africa last year. It was common. Famine, drought. I don't know whether we are watching out. There is this issue of, tsunamis, waters, kind of landslide. All of a sudden, there will be something like flood, and the one happened in Argentina. Is it Argentina? Yesterday or day before yesterday. They were talking about some family that traveled there. Unfortunately, one medical doctor with the daughter, they were swept away. Daughter or the son, I don't know. Child of the man went with the man. They both died. It was landslide. Quite pathetic. In America, the same thing. It's happening very often in America, where you have tornadoes, different kind of earth-shaking problems, disease everywhere. 2019, we all witnesses to what happened to the world. Up to today, the troubles of COVID-19 is still everywhere. Even in the China that it started, it's reverberating again. Chinese people are getting it harder and harder again, and they're locking down many places. And just yesterday, the British government, Boris Johnson, was saying that it's not ruling out lockdown again. It's all about COVID and all that. What about the war in Ukraine? The Ukraine war, it's not just Ukraine war starting today. You saw what happened in Iraq. You saw what happened in Afghanistan. You saw what happened in Syria, in Yemen, in Libya, and so on. In recent time, there has been problems, signs of the trouble of the last day, as Yeshua enumerated them in Matthew 24. And he said, when you see these things happening, that is, when they are frequently occurring in that way or nature, you know that the end is close. But that is not the end on itself. That's all those will not bring the end. Because there will be a time when everything will shoot up. It will not stop until the 7 years is complete. The 7 week, or the 1 week rule, which is the 7 years, until it starts and complete. It will not stop. Now, we read this morning in Genesis chapter 10, we read about the children, the 3 children of Noah: Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And how after the flood, Yahweh spared them, and they distributed the nations across the board, across, amongst the 3 of them. And we see that Japheth was given the northern side of the world, as it were, the upper side of the world, as Yahweh, let us know how they distributed their habitation. And the northern part of the world, you see those who called Gog and Magog, Russia being their head, Meshech, Moscow, still part of Russia, tribes of Gomer, the Western Europe, you see Germany, you see France, you see United Kingdom, and all these were, called Japheth. And you see those in the axis. If you look at how the world is calibrated today, some are within the Asia, some are within the, the far north hemisphere. And when you look at how they are configuring or reconfiguring themselves, you will see that there is this closeness. You can see that India is like in between. India is not saying yes to Russia. India is not saying yes to the West, to NATO. We are still looking at Japheth and what Yahweh, gave to us or showed to us concerning the northern part. Now, within even the south, Japheth is trying to have alliance with Libya. Why do you think they went to Libya and break the chain in Libya? Break the power in Libya in the time of Gaddafi? Because they want to, in a way, cause that alliance to happen. Because if Libya is supposed to be Libya under Gaddafi and whatever power that goes through his lineage, they will not achieve that. So that war didn't just happen because they want to take over this and that. Perhaps that is part of the game. But they want to cause Libya to be an affiliate, Iraq to be affiliate, Syria to be affiliate, Iran to be affiliate, Yemen to be affiliate, and Egypt, Ethiopia, we join them. Most of the Middle East, the people of Shem, will also join them. Meantime, because of the fall of Shem, most of the children of Shem have aligned themselves to Japheth, to the north. Most of the children of Ham in the south had also aligned themselves, like Libya, like Ethiopia, like Egypt, and so on, have aligned themselves to the north. There are some of them who are not totally aligning themselves. They are agreeing with Israel. Though Yemen is being, dealt with But I don't know whether Yemen will join them. But at the end of the day, you see Saudi Arabia aligning with children of within that Middle East axis. That is, they are still trying to stand put with the current Israel that is there now. You see that during the time of Trump, there are about 3 or 4 Arab nations that said we are going to go back into, alliance with Israel. We are going to, be doing things with Israel again. And Egypt appeared to be part of them. I wonder, would Egypt at the end of this sneak out and join the children of Japheth? You see, what is going on really, if you don't put your eyes in the scripture, you won't catch it. Because the alignment is going, would you say zigzag? It's neither here nor here, but before you know it, it will one day come on board. All that is going on is that at the end, there will be 10, imagine, within Europe. The children of Japheth is going to come up with 10 nations. Because literally the children of Japheth are ruling the world today. They are in charge. They are ruling children of Shem. They are ruling children of Ham. As we were told, they were divided into 3. The other 2, the middle and the south, they've made themselves weakling. They have brought themselves down. That their senior brother up there is in control and in command and dictating both their social life, economic life, cultural life. Everything about life is being dictated by Japheth. Now, the Northern Alliance will lead to global government, one world government. But before the one world government, because not all will accept it, even within the North. Not even all from the middle or from the south will accept it. And that's why there will be war. And that's why there has been conflict here and there. I will not go too forward into that. Time will permit us someday to, piece everything together, and we will show ourselves really that what we see as genealogy in Genesis chapter 10 and 11 is not something you wave away. You don't say, what about all these names? We don't know about them. They are existing today. But they have been changed into what you call a modern name. But if you are not careful, you will not understand. And we are going to see most of those modern names mentioned in the book of Isaiah. Isaiah, mentions some of them. What is going to happen, particularly, the battle is going to be fought, particularly in the middle. Children of Shem are going to get it hot. But it's going to reach north, it's going to reach south. But the epicenter of the battle, of the war, of crisis, is going to be in the Middle East. And it's going to affect everybody. Because they are working hard to turn the world global village. As it was then, in the time of Babylon, when the world was one, when they had one language, that is what is coming. In fact, the world is squaring itself back to its original form, kind of original status of wickedness, evil, and agenda of living without Yahweh, agenda of fighting Yahweh, agenda of removing Yahweh, and everything that belongs to Yahweh. Because why Nimrod succeeded was because Nimrod was able to buy the heart of the other brothers and made them to believe him. And at the end of the day, he enthroned himself as Elohim, mighty one, mighty hunter, before Yahweh, in the face of Yahweh. Yahweh, I have come now to replace you. Forget it. Forget the earth. I'm in charge. Now what he did is playing out in these latter days to wrap his activities up. So he's taking everyone, both the children of Japheth, children of Ham, children of Shem. But one thing is astonishing. Do you know that Nimrod came from the south? But his power is in control. His power is within the north. He's taking over the north. He is from Cush. Cush is from the south, from Ham. Well, whatever it is, the power is resting in Japheth as at now. And Japheth is implementing the whole power of Babel, the whole power of Babylon, the whole power of Nimrod is being played out. And as we read in Revelation chapter 17, the spiritual head of this power today is resting in papacy. We can see Revelation where Yeshua exposed what is happening about the old Babylon, how this Babylon has manifested into the new Babylon, and it has taken the spiritual power or the spiritual authority, whereby the spiritual house of Yahweh has been taken away, has been swept completely away. Now, new names, new identity of Yahweh, or the Yahweh's identity has been taken away, and he has introduced new identity that look as if that is the authority of Yahweh. If you look at verse 2 of that chapter 17, it says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. It's not working alone. It's working with kings, working with the powerhouses of the world. What you call the globalists, those that are in control of the economy of the world. Even these globalists are more powerful than the kings, because with money they rule the world. Whatever they tell the kings to do, the kings do it on their behalf, so that they will enthrone their very master, the Nimrod of this last days, called the beast. Now, before that will happen, there will be conspiracy everywhere. Daniel warned us about it. Daniel chapter 8, 7 to 11. Now therefore, behold, Yahweh brings up over them, who? Over them the waters of the river, strong and mighty. Who? This he called Assyria and all his glory. Assyria of then is today found within the axis of Gog and Magog, the Middle East area, going forward, captured by the children of Japheth. He will go up over all his channels and go over all his banks. He's done it before in the ancient Israel when Samaria was their capital. He took Israel away, exported them, and they are all over the world today. So the biblical Israel are not in existence in their land. They are not in existence. They are not found in their land. Though you could find some remnants here and there within that area. But then, the biblical chosen people of Yahweh described in Deuteronomy chapter 32, how Yahweh loved them, how Yahweh condoled them, how Yahweh indeed was doing everything to enthrone them, but they refused. Because of their refusal, because of their nodding their head, because of their shaking their legs, because of saying no to Yahweh, then Yahweh allowed Assyria this power to do what? To uproot them and cast them into the whole world. They are there up to today, everywhere. He will pass through Judah. This same Assyria, he's saying he will pass through. This is a typological prophecy that happened then that is going to repeat in this later days. Because everything is rebounding to fulfill, the prophecies of Yahweh, which had begun since time. It's going to be, call it a summary, it's going to be summarized, where Israel is going to be there to be, they are going to be taught the last lessons of their lives. And after that, they will say, we will not rebel again. He will pass through Judah. He will overflow and pass over. He will reach up to the neck, and the stretching out of his wings will fill the breadth of your land. O Emmanuel. Emmanuel, they call him. Verse 8 there. That is Daniel chapter 8, verse 8. Be shattered, O you peoples, and be broken in pieces. Guide or bind yourselves, all you from far countries. Are they binding themselves now? Are they reconfiguring? Are they calling for confederacy? Are they trying to regroup, emerge? They are trying to find their level. They are trying to find themselves. Those in the north, those in the middle, called the Middle East or the center, and those at the south. They are trying to find their level to, converge, to confederate as one body. That will do what? Work for Nimrod. Work for the beasts. Apparently for Satan. Guide yourselves, but be broken in pieces. Yes, they will come, they will confront, but they will still be in their nations, but they will affiliate. They will affiliate. Take counsel together, but it will come to nothing. Whatever they are planning, Yahweh has the end result. Yahweh will do the implementation. Whatever he allows to happen will happen. Whatever he wouldn't allow to happen will not happen. And that is why we come in. He said, pray, pray, pray. Joel chapter 2, pray. Because Yahweh didn't see what they are doing to happen. No, he leave it open. When they asked Yeshua, when will these things be happening? And they wanted to know the time. Yeshua didn't give them categorical time because he knew Israel may not be ready at any point for them to go. But Yahweh will intervene still because he wouldn't wait indefinitely. Now, Yeshua, could not come up. Though he said the Father didn't tell him the time when this beast will emerge. The very week, the very moment, or the very date was not given. But then you should not fold your arms if you continue to pray. So because of giving that allowance or space, because if Israel pray, Yahweh can delay. Yahweh can delay. Yahweh can delay. So at the end, question of dates will not arise. Because if it's something that will happen in 2022 or 2023, your prayer may cause Yahweh to do what? To push it 2025 or 2030 or 2050. Who knows? He has the timetable. Because there may be an element that Yahweh is still waiting to wake up. That is what is important. Yahweh is not waiting or listening to that prayer because he wants to delay or he wants us to remain in the status quo and continue in sin or continue in the ruins of the world that hates him. No. Yahweh wants his people to return. Oh Israel, why will you die? Come back to me. So it's just come back. Yahweh is, calling Israel to return before he allowed the enemy for 7 weeks, 7 years to do his mayhem. Because Yahweh want to allow him to prove his mettle, prove himself, so that at the end of the day, he will not blame Yahweh, for anything that would happen to him, because Yahweh is going to destroy him. Take counsel together, but it will come to nothing. Speak the word, they will come, they will converge, they will speak, they will go to G7 meeting, the G20 meeting, G100 meeting. They will do whatever they are doing. At the end of the day, it will come to nothing. It will not stand, because what Yahweh says will happen, will happen. Whether they are doing it in the NATO or they are doing it in Russia, whatever, at the end of the day, what Yahweh says will happen, will happen. This is verse 10 of Daniel chapter 8. For Yahweh spoke thus to me with a strong hand, and should not walk in the way of these people, saying, now Israel, we are warned. We are warned. Yahweh spoke to the prophet, saying this to Israel, saying this to Israel. And this is what he said to Israel. Do not say a conspiracy. Do not say a confederacy. Do not join them in the amalgamation concerning all that these people call a confederacy. Just a minute. Concerning what these people call confederacy, nor be afraid of their threats, nor be troubled. Why are we troubled today? Why are we thinking about what they are threatening to do? Because we are not prepared. Because we are not covered by the word of Yahweh, and we are not applying ourselves to what Yahweh said. If we are doing what Yahweh said to us, do this, or follow it, or go this way, at the end of the day, these people will plan and plan, but they will not get at us. We will not even be afraid of them, because what they are doing is to make a way for us to return, to be restored, for us to go back into the kingdom. Without their work, we can't go back. We will still remain in their hands. Just look at what happened to Israel in the land of Egypt. If Israel did not at a particular time get ready, begin to cry. If you look at Exodus chapter 3, Yahweh said, I heard their cry, I heard their prayers, and I've come to deliver them. Now, Moses, go, tell them. Do you know that when Moses and Aaron eventually called the elders of Israel and told them, Yahweh have come, Yahweh has said, deliverance is now, get ready to go home. Do you know that the people believed Moses and Aaron? Bible said they were convinced on what they said, because what convinced them was when they said, Yah of Abraham, Yah of Isaac, Yah of Israel have come to do what? To deliver you. And the Bible said they worshipped Yahweh. They bowed down to worship Yahweh when they had the name Yahweh. So what happened then? It's like a package. And if you open the package, study it, you will know exactly what is happening in these latter days. What Nimrod did that is wrapping up in this latter days is difficult to understand. But if you peep into what happened to Israel in Egypt, and how they were moved out from Egypt to the wilderness down to the land of Canaan, you will understand the preparation. That the first Exodus is being shaped into the later Exodus. Or the second Exodus will take the shape of the first Exodus. But you need to study the scriptures to understand what transpired there. What happened even from the beginning. And how Yahweh intends to return them back. So Yahweh says, when they are doing all these things they are doing, separate yourself. Do not be part of them. Do not join them. I've had many people telling me that they are enjoying this time around, because it's when they make most of their money. This global pandemic thing, Government will promise packages. Government will give them this. And they will fill form, lie, tell them, and they collect thousands and put in their pocket. Horrible. Horrible things are going on. Yahweh of hosts, him you shall hallow. Him you shall sanctify. Him you shall bless. Let him be your fear. Do not be threatened by what they are doing. Him will you fear. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 13 says, fear Yahweh and keep his commandment. That is all our duty. That is what we should do when they are doing their thing. You'll be doing your thing. Fear Yahweh, walk in his way, walk in his counsel, walk in his commandment, follow him. Then Yahweh will strengthen you, Yahweh will fortify you, Yahweh will give you his spirit to be bold, spirit of boldness. That's what helped the apostles. Remember in Acts chapter 4, when they were killing them, pursuing them, doing whatever they liked. Those Sadducees, Pharisees, the priests and so on. What did they do? They turned to Yahweh and prayed. The Bible said after that prayer, what did they ask? They asked for boldness. They didn't ask for money. They didn't ask for wilderness. They didn't ask for nations. They didn't ask for the death of the kings and the rulers. No. They asked Yahweh, give us spirit of boldness. Do you know what spirit of boldness does? You'll be able to preach this gospel, even in the midst of gun, even in the eyes of those who want to kill you. So all this is what we need at this time, spirit of boldness. Because these people are coming bolder and bolder, they are becoming emboldened to do mayhem, to commit atrocities. But Yahweh says, ask for spirit of boldness. Ask for, Yahweh's presence. The Spirit will liberate us. Now, and he will be as a sanctuary. When you ask for Yahweh's hand for help, when you fear him, when you keep his commandment, what does he do? He covers you. He becomes your sanctuary. Isaiah chapter 8 verse 14. Because you have said, we have made a covenant with death. Now, these are Israelites who said, I will be where I am. Preach from moon to sun, from heaven to earth to moon. I will remain where I am. I will love enjoyment. I love money. I love the global world. I love everything of the world. I'm so associated with the world. Look at all the skyscrapers. Look at all the mansions. Look at what I'm thinking to do. Oh, you want me to pay attention to follow Yahshua, to follow Yahweh? I mean, you waste my time. How did Yahweh describe them? Listen to how he described them. Because you have said, we have made a covenant with death. Such people make covenant with death. You want to fight Yahweh? The person is fighting himself into death. And with hell are we at agreement. Imagine that. When Yahweh is preaching and calling us, and we say we are where we are, we love what we are doing, we cannot pay attention, we will not listen to you. Such a person have made agreement or covenant with death and hell, and is ready to plunge. When the overflowing scourge, that is Yahweh's wrath, that's what they are promising themselves. When the overflowing scourge shall come, or shall pass through, it shall not come unto us, for we have made lies our refuge. Not only Israelites that are saying this, even these globalists and kings and powerhouse lies, they have made it their refuge. And under falsehood have we hid ourselves. Therefore, thus says Yahweh Shaddai, behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone, a tri-stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. He that believes shall not make haste, shall not be shaken. Isaiah 28, 15 and 16. He's calling us to wake up. Brethren, he's calling us to wake up. The way he's calling us to wake up. Why is the kings and the globalists after Israel? Why? We saw this a little while in the book of Deuteronomy. After Yahweh divided the whole earth, he gave these children their own inheritance. Japheth go to the north with hope that they will serve him. Shem remained at the middle. Well, Yahweh knew that Shem is going to be chosen because others have made up their mind. Ham go to the south. But at the end of the day, Shem that he relied and wanted to use to recover his two other brothers, Shem disappointed Yahweh. And that's why Deuteronomy 32 was written. He said, Moses, write this. It's a song, write it, they will know it. Let them read it and let it be in their heart, that in the later days they will remember how Yahweh had loved them. And that's why we saw in that Deuteronomy how Yahweh was reminding them. I said, refer back to your fathers. Go back. Look at, even when I divided the world, how I so loved you. I gave you Shem. I gave you the best part of the world. Where Shem is, things that are there, blessings that are there, beneath the earth, above the earth. You see, the agricultural product in the land of Israel is extraordinary. Do you remember when they were in Egypt, he told them that the land that I'm taking you to is the land that flows with milk and honey. It's not a joke. That is the truth of the land. He said, from the rock, vegetables grow, fruits grow, trees grow. Even from what you call rock. Can you plant anything on the rock? That is how the land is. Wonderful place. Now, Israel never paid attention. Israel never paid attention. And that is why they are going to get judgment that Isaiah recorded in chapter 10. We're going to look at some of them a little while. Because they changed his name. This is one of the problems that Israel had. The kings of the earth, we get them, hook them on their, on their neck. Nimrod did it. When Nimrod caught all of them, made them to bow to him, bow to his Baal, to his sun god. Remember, the Baal or sun god is given different names depending on your location, where you are in the world. Today, some call the sun god the Baal, which Nimrod, it was what Nimrod was worshipping. That was his idol given to him by Satan. But when he left, who is advocating? Who is adversary of Yahweh? It's Satan. So when we turn away from Yahweh, Satan will take over. That is, Satan will draw the person to himself and will use the person to do all the experiments he's doing in this world. So the names, because of different tongues, because of different languages, this Baal or Baalim has taken different shapes of names. El, Elohim, Asherah, Ashtaroth. Name them. The ones in Egypt, they use different names because of the language, because of the, to describe it. The ones in Africa, the one in Asia, the one in Europe, the one all over the world, they have different names. But it's the same. Do we understand that? Whereas you have different names. Either in English you say God, Lord. In Hebrew you say Adonai or Elohim. The same. The same. As Yahweh has one name. And that one name is in him, and the Son in him is Yahweh. The first name which they changed, which the fathers knew, was Yah. Nimrod, with all his plotting, remove it from their hearts and replace it with Mighty One, Elohim, and the word carried it on that way till today. That is what has caused the deception. Deception began with his name. As soon as Satan got everybody tied to his own name, he removed us from Yahweh that is our covering, Yahweh that is our sanctuary. So he now make mockery of Israelites. So basically, the major reason is the name that was removed. Followed by his Sabbath. Remember, Leviticus 26, when he was telling how we are going to get our blessings and remain in the land and flourish, he said, do not do idol. Don't make any communication or meeting or association with idol of the Gentiles, which Nimrod introduced. Don't. When he was about to bring them out from Egypt, he was warning them about idol that they're going to meet in that Middle East. Because the children, the Canaanites, they have been indoctrinated. They were taken over by the worship of Nimrod. So, and the Hebrews, it became their culture. The name Elohim became part of them. And Yahweh said, no, my name, my glory, you will not be calling me El and be calling Satan El or Elohim and worship me in the same manner. You said, I will accept you. Don't. Leviticus 26, 1, be careful you do not betray me. Be careful you do not bring El, mighty one, gods, and worship, and decide to worship me. I mentioned a while ago that was the reason Yahweh brought down the temple in Jerusalem. Even Jerusalem itself failed because of idol. In the temple, they were worshiping Yahweh, and the idol was there. El was there. They were worshiping both together. Ezekiel chapter 8, 14 to 16 told us the sun god was worshipped even in the temple. Tammuz took over from the father, and Israelites said, that is the way to go. Sabbath is another, the 10th commandment. Sabbath. In the wilderness, he tested them. Then Exodus chapter 16, he tested them on Sabbath. Whether Israel will hear my word, will obey me to worship me on this particular day, this 7th day of rest, whether they will rest with me. They didn't. That day they went out into the field looking for what? For manna. And that provoked Yahweh. I think the Yahweh, after that incident and the calf, Yahweh said, these people, their heart is sealed to worship Elohim, to worship Baal. Therefore, I'm going to deal with them. He called Moses and told Moses, these people, they will not worship me in that land. I will scatter them again. Remember in Exodus chapter 14, he told them that the Egyptians you see today trying to trash you, you will not see them again. I'm going to clear them in this water, this Red Sea. I'm going to finish them. Don't worry. They are not going to go through this hell again. But before you knew it, in that wilderness, Israel has made up their mind to return not only Israel, but to the entire world to do even worse things. So Leviticus 26, 1 to 13, Yahweh clearly told them, my name is important. Don't mix it with idol names. My Sabbath is important. Don't ever bring another day of rest. If you can do this, I will keep you safe. You will live in that land. It will flourish. You will plant, you will eat, you will do everything you will do in that land. I will be your father. I will be your and you will be my children, my own people. Did they hear? Oh, they did the worst. The more Yahweh called them, Hosea said, when Israel was in Egypt, Israel, I loved Israel. I cuddled Israel. I carried Israel. But the more I called them, the more they ran away from me. That's what is going on up to today. The more he called Israel, the more he wept for Israel, the more he embraced Israel, the more Israel asked Yahweh, who are you? I don't know where that thing is coming from. Satan is terrible. He's working hard. He's doing so many dirty works in the heart of the believers. So unfortunate. Isaiah 24, 3 to 6 is another reason Bible gave why Israelites will be slaughtered in these latter days. The land of Israel shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled. For Yahweh has spoken this word. The earth mourned and faded away. The world languished and faded away. The rooty people of the earth do languish. It's not only Israel now, but the world will also be cut off. Because Assyria will not spare anybody. The Assyrian leader, the powerhouse, the beast that is coming. So after dealing with all Israelites people, he will go after all the other brothers. Yeah. Going to deal with them. Going to deal with them. It's unfortunate. The earth also is defied under the habitation thereof, because they have transgressed against what? Against the law of Yahweh. They have changed the ordinances, the law, the status of Yahweh, the everlasting covenant of Yahweh. Galatians chapter 3 verse 15. Apostle Paul talked about that. Therefore has the curse, did you see that? Curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. Verse 5 and 6. Few men will be left. When things that are, hovering there, the flood that is about to unleash upon the earth, when it begins to crash land, only few men will be left. I don't know. Yahweh knows the population of the earth. Only He knows, because they will tell us we are so billion. Only He knows the population, and only He knows how many, particularly men, that will be left. Because when all this trouble will be happening, men are going to bear the brunt. Men are going to get it. Change to another. These people changed to another Messiah. They did. That was the name that is talking about. Another Messiah was in place for them, and they took over. The worship of another came on board. Change to another predicted. Deuteronomy 32, 16 to 17, it was said. Daniel 7, 25, time and season, time and, the Sabbath, for instance, was changed. Time and the law of Yahweh was changed. Sabbath law was changed. All the whole of Yahweh's law, not only Sabbath, all of them have been changed. Those that are waiting, in fact, all of them have been broken. These be the mighty ones, Elohim, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. Exodus 32, 1 to 4. Appear to be saying, they were telling Yahweh. Let us go to Exodus 32, where we read. They declared, even in the wilderness, to say that the Baal, the calf, they made, because change of Yahweh's identity was not just in Israel. It began in the wilderness. These were the people, shortly Yahweh brought them out of Egypt. They crossed the Red Sea. They made a calf, and they called that calf Elohim, mighty one, that brought them out from Egypt. Moses had to stress that. Deuteronomy 32. Deuteronomy 32, 1 to 4. Give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain. My speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass. Because I will publish the name of Yahweh. Ascribe ye greatness unto our Yah. He is the rock. His work is perfect. For all his ways are judgment. Now, that is not giving me where I wanted. That should be Exodus 32. Sorry about that. But that is relevant, because there Yahweh was yearning for his people to return to him. But their eyes was on this El that we are talking about. 32, 1 to, reading from 1 to 4. And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron. We are still looking at why Yahweh will punish Israel, particularly Israel. We are still looking at why this Assyrian beast is going to go after Israel. We are still looking at why this beast of all nations of the world, of all peoples of the world, Israel are going to get it hotter than all. So Yahweh is giving us the reason why he's going to punish Israel. The people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, Up, make to us mighty ones. Make to us Elohim, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, because this El is a generic name, it's something that not just started from the blues. They learned it in, the children of Joseph, the children of Jacob, they learned it in Egypt. Egypt had been in it. Egypt carried it from Nimrod, from Babylon all the time. Canaanite, all of them bought the whole idea from Nimrod. So these children who knew the way of Shem, the way of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the way of the Hebrews, they lost the track. They lost their, their way, their root. They lost the way of Yahweh. They knew Yahweh, but it has become a lip service. Calling Yahweh has become a lip service. So, having left Yahweh from their heart, they walked into doing this calf. Up, make us mighty ones, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him. And Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. And all the people break off the golden earrings and were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graven tool, after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, These be thy mighty ones, Yael, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. Did you hear that? They made the calf now suddenly became Yahweh. And they said that calf brought them out from the... Is it true? You see what Satan lies. There is something that Yahweh ministered to me this morning before we came on board. The Spirit of Yahweh said, we must be careful and be suspect of everyone around us, excluding the children of Yah, who goes with the truth, who live in the truth. But there are some children of Yah that doesn't live in the truth. They live two ways. They live two sideways. We must be very careful, because this lies, deception is rampant. That's where Satan began. Deception is everywhere. They are telling you one thing, they are doing another. The governments of the world, that's what is happening. Telling you one thing, they are doing another. Be careful. Very rampant. And because of that, they are wiring people away. So this is what happened there. The lies, Satan instituted the lies. This calf becomes whom you follow now. Forget about Yahweh. Moses, forget about him. As Nimrod told them, forget about Yahweh. I'm now in charge. Follow the Baal. Follow the Elohim. And that was it. The whole world followed the Elohim of Nimrod. In the wilderness, they commanded the very children of Israel. How come these descendants of Shem, Heber, Hebrew, suddenly forget Yahweh? In the wilderness, we bless Yahweh that not all of them adhered to that. Those who adhered to that, all of them, in fact, all of them perished. None of them entered into that land. Yahweh to Baal. That is, from there they changed Yahweh to Baal, to God, to Lord. Jeremiah 2, 8, 11 to 13 said about that. Jeremiah chapter 2, verses 8, 11 to 13. Jeremiah 23, 26 to 27 told us that they changed Yahweh to Baal. Hosea 2, 16 to 7, he said 17, 16 to 17, they are calling Yahweh now Elohim. But in the wilderness, they will understand. Yahweh will teach them a lesson. That's what Yeshua reported. Malachi 2, verse 2. In fact, from verse 1. In Malachi chapter 2, when the priests were in charge, leading them the way of Yahweh, Israelites, they were guided in whatever they were told. They were following. But here, Yahweh held the priests responsible for derailing his name and taking after Baal. Why did the two sons of Aaron, why did Yahweh kill them? They offered straight fire. That's what we heard. They turned to hell. Even in that wilderness. Yahweh slaughtered them without even ministering or whispering to Moses or Aaron. And immediately destroyed them. They went away from the way of Yahweh to the way of Baal. It's disaster. So in Malachi, Yahweh warned the priests that behaved like Nadab and Abidab, or what did they call him? That they had turned the heart of children of Israel away from him. As a result, he said he cursed them. All those who call themselves pastors, pope, whatever, reverend, and who had led people away from the true Yahweh, today, trouble is awaiting them. Surely, trouble is awaiting them. No matter what they preach, no matter how glamorous their messages are, trouble is. Read the Bible. This is exactly what Yahweh said is going to confront them. Malachi chapter 2, to the end, spoke about what Yahweh is going to do to them. Because he called them into that office to make sure they lead Israelites aright. Said he gave them the covenant. He gave them his law to do what? To lead Israel. But suddenly they left his law and they led Israel away from him to El, to Baal, to Nimrod's way. Messiah, they changed to Christ. Is it true? Is it Christ? Matthew 24, verses 4, 5, and 11 warn us about this change. Warn us. Yeshua was saying to Jesus, John chapter 5, 43. Yeshua spoke unequivocally concerning this change. But how many people are seeing that? How many people are seeing that? Now today, this agent, this spiritual agent, the agent of the beast as well, is now putting the whole world religions together. Because the world religion will have to come together before the one world government of the beast will come on board. So, because the spiritual realm rules the physical. If people are organized and put together with, one world religion, now one world government will be very easy for them to achieve. So the papacy is crisscrossing the world. Pope is today crisscrossing the world, and they have come up with what is called Islam. Islam as the common religion, and the three pillar religions are Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. They have agreed to go on in that is it conspiracy or ecumenical whatever, which they are putting together. What is happening is that what he told them in Isaiah chapter 8, they are breaking it. That rule, Israel is also breaking it with them. So these people are within the realm of Jesuit. Jesuit is, achieving it, and Jesuit, they have oath, what is called oath of secrecy. if you are part of them within the papacy, you swear to that oath. Even when the person is being shot, is being killed, he maintained the office to keep the position of papacy. They swore to maintain the ways of papacy, the doctrine of papacy. What is the doctrine of papacy? Remember, Matthew chapter 16 told us a parallel church will come on board. Remember, it told us that this is the first church. And Revelation chapter 17 also clearly told us what this church is. Call it harlot, mother of harlot. Mother of harlots, which is the Babylon, the one that continued the spiritual work of Babylon, has now become the Babylon the Great, and is now achieving what Nimrod, even Nimrod, could not achieve. So in these latter days, the whole children of Japheth, Ham, and Shem that are in rebellion against Yahweh, all of them that are in rebellion against Yahweh, particularly the chiefmost of them, are going to be dealt with. That is what the warning is all about. That is what is the warning. So here we see this Jesus' secret oath. We may not read all of them. The following is the Jesus extreme secret oath of induction given to high-ranking Jesus only. This oath is taken from the book Subterranean Roman by Carlos Didier, translated from the French and published in New York in 1843. So we are not saying something that somebody conjectured. This is, it's go to internet, you get it. Now, then we swore the oath and says, I now, in the presence of Almighty God. Yahweh is not God, though. Or God is not Yahweh. So God is the Nimrod, Elohim, Baal, Lord, God. That is still what they are calling here. Where you see God is referring to what Nimrod went out, because Nimrod rebelled. Nimrod became a mighty one to be worshipped, a king, a ruler, a tyrant ruler at that time. He took after the way of God. So that is what they are quoting here. Do not misunderstand the scripture. Do not misunderstand what they are trying to present. They are on their own, with their own religion. Now they are saying, the blessed Virgin Mary. See, they are bringing, you see, why they are Almighty, the Trinity kind of a thing is being instituted. Why are they bringing this together? The blessed Michael, the angel, to who they worship angels. The blessed Saint John the Baptist, the holy apostles Saint Peter and Saint Paul, and all the saints and the sacred host of heaven, and to you, my ghostly father, which is the Pope, the superior general of the Society of Jesus, the Black Pope, founded by Saint Ignatius Loyola in the pontificate of Paul III, and continues to the present, do by the womb of the Virgin, the mysteries of God, and the rod of Jesus Christ, declare and swear that His Holiness, the Pope, is Christ's vice regent, and is the true and the only head of the Catholic or the Universal Church throughout the earth, and that by virtue of the keys of binding and loosing given to His Holiness by my Savior Jesus Christ, He has power to depose heretical kings, princes, states, commonwealths, and governments, all being illegal without His sacred confirmation, and that they may safely be destroyed. This is a note they took so that anybody that does not do what they say or follow them or follow their religion, they are bound to destroy them. So they are saying, we are allegiance to the Pope. We are taking power and authority of Pope. We can use that power to destroy the kings who are heretic. Anybody that does not go in the line of their doctrine become a heretic, and they are ready to kill, to destroy, whether they are kings or princes or states or commonwealth. That is why the global religion will come together, then fuse with one world government. Now the beast that coming on board will deal with anybody who is outside the realm of the religion of Nimrod, the religion of Pope, the religion of the great Babylon. Be wary, understand where they are going. Now, if you want, I will send you this, because all this is the continuation of the secret of the oath they take, so that you understand perfectly what is going on. Now, all this, when you read it, you will shake. And that is what they are carrying out all over the world. Whatever happens in any country is unto their knowledge. They have knowledge of what is going on. They feed in, they create, they manufacture. They are part and parcel of what is going on all over the world. And what are they going to do? Making sure that the world government is zeroed and tuned to the ideology of Rome, ideology of papacy. Anyone who will not, whether kings, whether rulers, whether powers, they will bring it down. And that's why you see many of these nations, Libya went down, Iraq went down, Iraq, Iran is part of the key within the axis of the evil, so to speak, that they are going to use to crush others that are not folding or coming. It's not a question of religion. It's not whether you are in Islam or Hinduism or no. Papacy has his own religion. And with the religion, call your own religion, whatever. And that is why it's calling them, bringing them together, that they are fusing together to do what? Under one that confederacy, to do what? To do the bidding of Nimrod. Take the whole world. One world government. Nimrod took the whole world. One world government. And is building accordingly. Though somehow there has been separate names, separate entities, separate countries in their own location with their own government, but he is in command and control. Now, the secret oath continued with what we see here. The secret, very, very powerful. Very, for anybody, it's a union, it's a group, it's a body that runs this world under papacy. They have different affiliation, they have different nomenclature, different bodies that do one thing or the other. Some are in economy, some are in politics, or how the world politics, how governments of the earth are controlled, are ruled, are positioned. Jesus' heinous works. Jesus killed the fallen American president while striving to defend the American Union. This is from a book called Bill Hughes, The Secret Terrorist, page 39. If you go to Amazon, you'll buy it. It's there. They reported all this. Jesus killed the following American presidents while striving to defend the American Union and her inalienable rights of her citizens. You see how America is being put down. Their constitution is being removed. They're electing leaders, they're electing judges who, speak the language of Jesus, because they are all Jesus trained. Most of all the leaders that are coming up now, even Donald Trump is Jesus trained. Joe Biden, all of them are Jesus. So America is being gotten by them. They pocketed America. So whatever that you see happening now, Yahweh is in control. By the time Yahweh says it's all right, he hands off. They will do whatever they will do, and America will go down. Then the power that be will take over. President Henry Harrison, elected 1841 and killed same year, April 4, 1841. The president was poisoned with apoplexy. It's a chemical called apoplexy. They killed him. These are people. If you are in that government, you are not working in accordance to papacy, the person will go down. All over the world, it's not only in America. Most of the countries, Nigeria is in zigzag today. Nigeria is in total chaos today. Trace where it is coming. President Zachary Taylor refused to go along with the Jesuits to allow slave trade to continue to thrive, Taylor was thus eliminated. President James Buchanan, a Pennsylvanian Democrat, was elected. He was determined to unite the North and South Americans. The Jesus did not like it. James Buchanan was poisoned and almost died. He lived because he knew that he had been given arsenic poison and so informed his doctors. He knew that the Jesus poisoned Harrison and Taylor. It's scary, isn't it? The Jesus order fulfilled their oath again and again that they would poison, kill, or do whatever was necessary to remove those who opposed their plans. From 1841 to 1857, 3 presidents of America were attacked by the Jesus as outlined in the Congresses of Vienna, Verona, and Chieri. 2 died and 1 barely escaped. They allowed nothing to stand in their way of total domination of America and the destruction of the Constitution, which is what they are doing. President Trump has been saying they are destroying the Constitution. They are destroying the Constitution. And you see Donald Trump doing rally every fortnight, every month, preaching the same message. What these powers are doing. People doesn't see what is going on. As they look at America, the priests of Rome have stated, we are also determined to take possession of the United States, but we must proceed with the utmost secrecy. All they do is in secret. Silently and patiently, we must mass our Roman Catholics in the great cities of the United States, remembering that the vote of a Pope journeyman, though he be covered with rags, has as much weight in the scale of powers as the millionaire Astor, and that if we have 2 votes against his one, he will become as powerless as an oyster. Let us then multiply our votes. Let us call our poor but faithful Irish Catholics from every corner of the world and gather them into the very hearts of the cities of Washington, New York, Boston, Chicago, Buffalo, Albany, Troy, Cincinnati. Under the shadows of those great cities, the Americans consider themselves a giant, unconquerable race. They look upon the poor Irish Catholics with supreme contempt, as only fit to dig their canals, sweep their streets, and walk in their kitchens. Let no one awake those sleeping lions today. So they think that people are underrating them. They want to take over. Let people not take them for granted. They are coming. They want to do the mayhem. In fact, it's something that you must read. Something that you must read. So this is the power, the present power, because the secular beast, the political beast hasn't emerged, but this power is working out his coming and is crisscrossing. Remember, the beasts are 2 in this latter days. The false church beast, or the false prophet beast, and the secular beast, the man of perdition. They are working for the man of perdition, the man of sin, to come on board. So they have to tie many governments, cause many governments to come on board, but the government that will not go their way, they will bring it down. That's why you are seeing so many governments going down, so many destructions going. And that is a way of realignment, confederacy. At the end of the day, that those that will go to the north, Russia, and those that will come to the south, within the axis of Europe, the north, the south of Europe, or call the west, call them the west now. Now, this alignment or realignment is going on. Now, the thing is, from where will the power come out? From where will the Nimrod emerge from these 2 axes, the north and the west? Where? The Bible explains that they are going to come out from where? From the north. And this is what we read this morning, called Assyria. Just give me a little time. Let me explain this, because this may be the last of this portion. I may not do the part 4 of it. Give me a little more time. Now, where we are reading in Isaiah chapter 10, it places clearly. Let's see if we can move there quickly. Now, how they are going to achieve this is pestilences, wars, especially you can see COVID going on and all that, wars going on here and there, whether in Yemen, whether in Nigeria, whether in South Sudan, whether in far away, Afghanistan, and so on and so forth. Chaos. Matthew chapter 24, 5 to 8 talk about that. Flattery. Peace, peace, peace. They are telling you what they're talking about peace at the same time. Now, which one do you take? Daniel chapter 7 verse 8, Daniel chapter 8, 25, Daniel 11, 21, and 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 talk about that. One world religion and government is on the offing. Their purpose is working hard using one world religion to bring everybody together, at the same time enticing the kings of the earth. Remember Revelation chapter 7, calling them, and do what he knows how to do to make them go his own way. Confederacy, alliance, Isaiah 8, 7 to 13 is going on. Armageddon. Now, this is the ultimate. By the time the one world government is on board, the beast will begin to rule, talking about peace. You bring everybody together, and any king that will, according to what Jesus is saying, any king, any power that will not follow will be put down. So when those now that agree with them will join hands in the one world government, they will look towards of stopping Yeshua. They say, he's coming. But this will be towards the end of 1 week rule, the 7 years, towards that. One year, towards the end of the 7 years rule, they will plan this, and they will go to a place called Armageddon in near Jerusalem, and there they will await. They will amass. The Bible said 200 million man soldiers. The dragon will go through corners of the earth inside the kings to go and do this assignment, and they will all agree. They will take all the whole thing they have been producing in this world to go there and wait for Yeshua. And they will tell the world, alien want to invade you. Are you keeping quiet? The world will say, go and get the alien. We want to live free. We want to live peacefully. And all that. They will go and await. That's where judgment will come. Yahweh said, muster yourself, call yourself, come to the valley of Jehoshaphat. There I will judge you. And the whole world now, at that time, the whole world will wake up to know who is Yahweh. After that fight, will they shoot anything? They will shoot. Yahweh will shoot them. Yahweh will clear them. Bible said the standing armies will be, it's like somebody who is poured acid from their head to their eyes will be ripped off. Everything. You will see a skeleton standing. You think it's a human being, but it's gone. That's the kind of, they use their weapon, their armament against Yahweh, but Yahweh has the dangerous biological and chemical weapon going to use against them. Then Armageddon will shell out. How I wish we have time. We will read Micah. Book of Micah offered us all this. All these nations that are coming, all these nations. Read it. Take note about it. Micah chapter 4, 11 to 13. Daniel chapter 2, 35. Joel chapter 3, 2 and 9, 13 to 14. Ezekiel chapter 39, 6 spoke about the Assyrians, spoke about the beast that is coming. So within the Europe, the western side will take much of the children of Shem, and they will organize with them, and at the end of the day, what will come out is going to be the devastation that is going to happen in the battle of Armageddon. Woe betide those that will be deceived to join in that battle. Revelation chapter 16, 19 pointed this out as well. Now that will be the return of Yeshua. Yahweh will cause Yeshua to come back. To do what? to take over the earth. Daniel reported this clearly. Daniel chapter 2, Daniel chapter 7, and Daniel 11 and 12. Joshua will be returning back to take the kingdom, and he will not leave it for mankind to possess. Those who talk about rapture, they're wasting their time. Daniel chapter 2, verse 44 and 45 said he will not leave this kingdom that he will defeat, the kingdom of the world, the kingdom of sin, the kingdom of iniquity, the kingdom of Nimrod that has become the great Babylon. He will remove it and he will take over and he will rule with the saints. Are you a saint? He will rule with the saints. Salvation of Israel will come. Now Israelites are saying, oh, let us own the world. They are owning the world is after Yeshua will defeat this wicked government of the world. Ezekiel 38, 2-6. Junior, can you help me read Ezekiel 32? Ezekiel 32, quickly please, 2-6. What you are hearing today by his grace is difficult to hear from elsewhere, unless from those that Yahweh has called. Because these are hidden truths. These are hidden truths, not just facts, hidden truths. It's difficult to hear from the pulpits of the world. Yahweh has given us the grace to hear it. So that's why I want to make sure that we get all these facts and figures. 38, 2-6.
Ezekiel 38, 2-6.
Yeah.
So, son of man, set thy face against Gog.
Set your face against Gog,
the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach.
He is the chief amongst all of them.
And Tubal, and prophesy against him.
Prophesy against him.
And say, thus saith my sovereign Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. And I will turn thee back, and put hooks into thy jaw. And I will bring thee forth, and all tiny army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia
will join them.
Ethiopia and Libya with them.
These are those you can find from Shem. Somehow they join. From Ham. From Ham. Somehow they joined. Even Persia. Persia is part of Persia that is within the axis of Iraq, Syria, and Iran. They are joining them. Go on.
All of them handling this. Okay. All of them with shield and helmets. Gomer and all his bands.
Gomer.
The house of Togama of the north quarters, and all the bands, and many people with thee.
Oh, that's all right. Now you can see that even China will join them, Russia will join them. They will take all those ones within the Middle East. They will be in force, full force. With some Arab nations will join them, and some Arab nations will join the children of Shem, that is children of Haba, children of Hebrew or Israel. Then some in the south, the children of Ham, will also mix with them. We had them read, some of them read here. Libya, Ethiopia, even Egypt will be part of them at the end of the day. That is why Yahweh talk about this, confederacy, whatever they are plotting and planning is ongoing. This is Bible. It's true. Daniel 2, 35, 44. Daniel 12, 1-2 also spoke about this Gog and Magog of alignment of other nations. They are coming. They are plotting hard. They are working hard. So Assyrian, who is Assyrian? Now, why again is this going to happen and be unleashed against Israel? This Assyrian here, according to the scripture, is the beast, the very beast within Assyria. Assyria is within the, axis of the north, or within the northern hemisphere. And they are going to launch out, both those in Europe and most in Asia. They are going to launch out. And the one that is leading them is called Assyrian, is the beast. And Yahweh called him the rod of Yahweh. The rod of Yahweh's anger. Isaiah chapter 10 called him the rod of Yahweh's anger. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, that write grievousness which they have prescribed. This is Israelites. Woe to them, because this Assyrian is coming against them. Yahweh is going to leave this beast to unleash mayhem in these latter days to those who have ears they don't hear. To turn aside the needy from judgment. This is what they do. They misjudge. The judgment of Yahweh is miscarried. Judgment of Yahweh is trodden, and they trample upon the people because they think they have power. They are going to get it. And to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And what will you do in the day of visitation? Israel, you who live in impunity, you who said the word of Yahweh has been trodden down, you who said the word of Yahweh has been cast into the stake or has been destroyed, then you will get into heaven to meet Yahweh. He said, when this thing will be happening, where will you be? What will you do? How will you escape? And in the desolation which shall come from far, from the north, from children of Japheth, it will come from them. To whom will you flee for help? And where will you leave your glory, riches, wealth, possessions? How will you do? Because your wealth will not help you. Your silver and gold will not help you. Your money will not help you. That's what he said to us. Without me, they, Israel, shall bow down under the prisoners, under this mighty power of Assyria, under the common Nimrod that is going to rule the world, the beast. And they shall fall under the slain. For all this, his anger is not turned away. Even when Yahweh would have dealt with Israel, the anger of Yahweh is not turned, because there are other nations, other people that have been polluted. They are going to be visited as well. But his hand is stretched out still. So this Assyrian is going to stretch out his hand to do more mayhem across the world. Oh, Assyrian, the rod of my anger. Did you hear that? Yahweh is, even this beast, Yahweh says is the rod of his hand. The rod of his anger. And the staff in their hand is my indignation. Whatever weapon they are using is what, is the instrument of Yahweh's rod, of his indignation against those who hate him. I will send him, Assyrian, the ruler himself, the beast, against an hypocritical nation, Israel, and against the people of my wrath. I will give him a charge. So, we're going to deal with Israel squarely. To take the spoil, and to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. It is in his beast, it is in his beast heart to destroy and cut off nations, not a few. Not only Israel, then after he has destroyed Israel, he will destroy other nations as well. So trouble is coming. He, beast, says, each of my princes will soon be a king. Now notice what this beast is saying. This beast that is coming, he said, it's not only me, I have other 10 kings that are yet to emerge. And if you go to Revelation chapter 17 verse 12, you will hear that mentioned. Gino, can you quickly please help me? Revelation chapter 17 verse 12. Because Bible is put so together in a way by the Spirit. If you are reading it on your own, you can't get any answer or meaning to what the Bible is saying unless the Spirit directs. Revelation 17, 12 talk about these 10 kings. We mentioned these 10 kings earlier, and listen to what is going on here. Because Revelation chapter 17, even chapter 18 talk about Babylon, the fall of Babylon. And look at what he's talking about concerning this power here, about the 10 kings. 12.
And the 10 horns.
10 horns, that's the 10 nations.
Which thou sawest.
Which you saw.
Are 10 kings.
There are 10 kings.
Which have received no kingdom as yet.
Or as today, they haven't received kings, they haven't received power, they haven't received authority. So the configuration or the confederacy is, on the move. They are planning the alliance and they are working it out.
But receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
Now, eventually, they will receive power. Those kings will receive power. And they will walk with the beast for 1 hour. Calculate it in Yahweh's own spiritual time. You will understand how many days or months they are going to walk with this power. So, they will come almost late. 1 hour rule. It could be the last 1 year of the king, or just towards the end of the beastly rule. This power will come on board. The 10 of them, they will be given authority, and they will issue that authority, the authority to the beast to do what? To now oppress and do whatever they are going to do. But the 2 witnesses will not leave the beast or these powers. They will challenge them to their marrow. They will challenge them that the whole world will be afraid of the 2 witnesses. And they will be praying for their elimination. And the beast will do everything to eliminate them. But Yahweh will allow them to get their way. And they will kill them after 3 days. Because the whole world will be watching where they are slain. They will lie in the streets of Jerusalem. And the whole world will be waiting for them to, when they will be buried and all that. Suddenly they will see them awake. And Yahweh will say, come over, come over. And the first time we hear that human beings will go into heaven. Though we know that Enoch was told that it could be some heaven, maybe 3rd heaven or 2nd heaven, they ended. We don't know, but they are going to be called up. We, that is the beast now, is saying, we, with those forces, destroyed Carmel. What is Carmel? Where is Carmel? It's a country, it's a nation, it's a city. It's northern Syria. You know what has happened to Syria in recent time? Watch out what the Bible is saying. That they have dealt with that country, or the people within that exist, referred as Carne today. In Amos chapter 6 verse 2, it is referred to Carne. Just as we did to Carchemish. Carchemish was also dealt with. This power is saying we dealt with Carne, and we dealt with Carchemish. This Carchemish is along Euphrates, river Euphrates. Now they have boasted of Hamath. Hamath is on the Orange River that is located within the south of Kano, the same Kano that he's talking about. They fell before them as Arpad. Arpad is located within the south of Kano. And they said they did the same, they dealt with Kano, they dealt with Kekemish, they dealt with Hamath, and also Arpad. And having succeeded, they say, who is Israel? Israel is going to be dealt with. And we destroyed Samaria, capitals of ancient Israel and Syria. This is something that happened in the past and is going to unfold again. And in recent time, as Syria was attacked, and all the adjacent or cities or whatever that make it up around it, which have been mentioned. This power in this latter days will not spare Syria. And it will work its way. Having said we have defeated these places, we have defeated all the opposing nations or countries along the line, then we will jump into Israel, Jerusalem, and capture it. And that will be the time of this Armageddon fight and Armageddon whatever. They are going to go in there to say, we are going to possess the land. But many of them will fall at that time. Before Yahweh will respond, many will fall. And we destroyed Samaria, capital of ancient Israel and Syria, just as we did to Damascus. Yes, we have finished off many kingdoms whose mighty ones, whose Elohim were greater than those in Jerusalem and Samaria. So we will defeat Jerusalem and her mighty ones, gods or Elohim, just as we destroyed Samaria with her idols. Verse 8 to 11. There, gave us the picture of what they said they have destroyed. Now, on Isaiah 10, 12 to 19, talk about Yahweh's judgment upon the Assyrian beast. This power now, Yahweh will now come against it, and Yahweh will unleash his anger. Why will Yahweh now turn to Assyria, that is using, that is his anger against his people and nations of the world? Why? Because Assyria, if you're a judge, you must judge uprightly. If you're a judge, you must judge in accordance to Yahweh's way or commands. You don't judge by what you think or how you think is the best way to judge. No, because you can't get it right. Remember when we are reading the same Isaiah 10, 12 to 19, this power said, hey, I am going to destroy this country. I'm going to destroy Israel because Akano, Kamishish, I have destroyed them. All those nations within within Syria, I have dealt with them. So, by the power and the might of their own Elohim and whatever, they have been given power to destroy those. So, who is Jerusalem and the gods of Jerusalem? You see, when we say, oh, okay, because you have made boasts and say it is by your power, it's by your wisdom, you did this to my people and destroyed nations of the world. I'm not going to judge you. It's my turn to judge you. What if Assyrian beasts had, at the end of the day, bowed to Yahweh, said, thank you for giving me power to destroy? Do you think Yahweh would destroy them? Yahweh wouldn't destroy them. But they made a boast that their power, their God, their Elohim that worked wonders, helped them. That their power or their gods is more powerful than the power, the Yahweh of Israel. So they challenge Yahweh. And Yahweh said, okay, let us go into the field and fight. Then they will gather their armies in the valley of Jehoshaphat, and Yahweh will visit them. Yahweh will rout them. Remnants of Israel to be saved at this time or be delivered. Isaiah 10, the same Isaiah 10, 20 to 34 gave us a hint about that their deliverance. And the Bible is full of the Israelites' deliverance. Jeremiah 31, Jeremiah 32, Jeremiah 33, and a new law will come on board. Law will be renewed again by the time Yahshua will be on board, destroying these nations. Israel will be gathered, and a new law, a new covenant will be made that now will be used to do what? To rule the entire world. The same covenant law, but he will shape it in a way that it will be used and it will match the system which he's going to operate on when he's on earth. Repent now and return to Yahshua Messiah so that you can be saved. That is the message. Watch and pray in these latter days. Luke chapter 21 verse 36. So that what is coming will not catch you. What is coming will not cut you off. What is coming is beyond you. As soon as you pay attention, you'll be delivered. You'll be set free. May Yahweh bless you. May Yahweh keep you. May Yahweh open our eyes to see what is happening and to run to Yahshua Messiah. And may we remain with him. May we continue to fulfill the heart desire of our Father in heaven, to obey him, to keep to his word, and to await our coming Messiah. So that when Yahshua comes, we will all reign with him. Father, thank you. Father, empower us. Father, help us. We will not miss your way. We will not miss the kingdom. We will be delivered. We will be saved when the trouble ensues all over the world. Help us, Father, for you are our sanctuary. You are our covering. You are our strong tower. You are our powerhouse. We bless you for educating us, for teaching us, for guiding us, and to hold onto your word so that we will not miss the mark. Thank you, Father, for hearing us. In Yeshua's name we have prayed. Hallelujah.